Does that mean we're live?
Yeah, I
it's
was
you.
counting
Okay.
down.
I didn't know it was doing it. I didn't know it was doing it. I didn't know it was doing it.
Then you lead. I'm just over here, man. I'm just a
You're
fat
going to
guy
do the thing.
pushing
I will
buttons.
do the thing. All right. So thank you for joining us as we hang out with Brandon and Ronnie from the Killers. They're in Utah right now. We are sitting in Las Vegas, and a lovely, is that an antler chandelier in the background? Is that what that is? That's nice.
Yeah, that's antlers.
Yeah. It's good to talk to you guys, man. How you holding up considering everything that's going on right now?
We're feeling pretty good.
Feeling good. We've been together for 2 months now. Starting to bicker. We're quarantining together.
Is that really what's going on? Are you guys just hanging out this whole time and enjoying each other's company?
Well, we live close by, so we're staying together in the cell. So we don't get out much. So all we have is each other.
How
does
have
a
you guys
time like
found...
this breed creativity, or does it just lead to?
Yeah, because there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time, and for me, it's kind of been nice. We've been writing a lot of songs and working it out.
Take it away there, Mahoney. I know you have a question.
That was the same question. That was the same question I was going to ask. I have one.
I was
like, how has the creative process been? Do you find yourself to be more creative, or is it harder just knowing what's going on outside with the rest of the world right now? Does that play any effect on your psyche? What's happening outside?
I think the limitations are doing good things for us. I mean, we're stuck here, and this is what we do. So it's being limited of not going out and just being sort of sequestered at home has been kind of fun.
Well, things are going pretty well for you guys. With the release of the new music, Caution #1 at Alternative Radio right now. Congratulations on that. It's the fastest to go to #1 for you guys, so that's huge. Obviously, the Imploding the Mirage is coming out at the end of May, so is that still on track? Is that still the plan to still release at the same time?
We are going to have to push it back, unfortunately. Okay. We were just finishing mixing when all this went down, and so we were still finishing that process. We just had to do it remotely with our mixing engineers. And there's also been, because we weren't able to deliver, vinyl pressing is a problem, and so we're just going to get it out as soon as we can, but we're figuring that out.
And then obviously the tour was scheduled as well, and there's a Vegas date that we have on the books for the end of August. I mean, this is a really challenging time, obviously for a lot of people in every business, and you think about the business that you guys are in, and it really affects it kind of more than anyone else, right? Because you can't go, hey, come do a killer show, but we all have to stay this far apart and everything else. So what is the plan with the tour, if there is one at this point?
The goalpost keeps moving. We're just going to sort of listen to, if we can't do anything, we can't do anything. And the first and foremost, I think we just want to make sure everybody is healthy and safe. And if that means not doing shows for a while, if that's the better action to take, then that's what we're going to do. We're just listening to what the good doctors are telling us and making adjustments every day. Hopefully
how are your families?
We want to play.
Yeah. How are your families handling all of this? Just with the kids and everything else. How's that going for them? Are they able to kind of make the adjustments as well? Do they have an understanding of what's going on in the world?
Yeah, I have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they have a pretty decent grasp on it. But it's been positive for us so far, as weird as that sounds. I mean, our family's just been tight, and more concerned about my dad. He's 75, and he's out in Boulder City trying the best that he can to quarantine himself. He's like a go-getter still, even though he's 75, and it's tough for him to sit still. But yeah.
Same for my mom. We've had to chain her to a radiator. She's out in Northern California.
Oh,
Yeah.
same thing with my grandparents. Same thing. It's they just want to get out there. It's
They do.
bizarre.
You can't. You lock them up.
So
is it
I woke
is
up
it
this
a
morning.
nice radiator? Is it a newer radiator? Is it a rusty radiator? What type of radiator is it that you have her chained to?
It's bolted into concrete footings. It's
Good,
not
good.
going
Yeah,
anywhere.
it's got to be safe.
Neither
Yeah.
is she.
Cadillac outside.
I woke up this morning to a new track from you guys, Fire and Bone. It was released, I think it was late last night, early this morning.
Yeah.
Listened to it a couple times with my wife because she's equally as big of a fan of you guys as I am, and loved it. Loved the influences, and interesting that I don't know if you guys do you read any of your own press when it comes to releasing music, or because Pitchfork put out a pretty positive review of it already this morning about an hour and a half
Did they
ago.
review
Did
it?
they?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it was
We're not accustomed to them giving us positive reviews. Maybe something.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Pitchfork.
Pitchfork.
yeah. I thought it was
Maybe
great.
we've finally
Very.
done something.
Was there the rest of the tone of the album? Is it similar to Fire and Bone, that it has that like 80s, a lot of that synth feel to it? I don't know if it's just because I've been listening to a lot of Talking Heads lately. Was there any influence? Have you guys been listening to any David Byrne lately, or did that have any effect on this album or any of these songs?
We grew up on the Talking Heads, and David Byrne and Brian Enos, work together, and he's definitely in the pot, and maybe the influence from the Talking Heads maybe came out a little bit more on Fire and Bone, but yeah, he's always in there.
David is always
There's
with
been-
us.
There's been some comparisons to Springsteen as well for some of the more recent tracks. Is Springsteen a part of the catalog for you guys that you draw inspiration from?
Yeah, I mean, once somebody like that enters the room, it changes your whole lexicon, because, like, for me personally, it gave me a different view of what I could, what you could become as a creative person or as a songwriter, as opposed to just like the debaucherous side of things of rock and roll, and the entertainment and the glitz and all of that, which is appealing when you're young. I feel like people like him and Tom Petty and Tom Waits and whoever it might be that's in that vein gave me personally something to shoot for as I got older, and so he's definitely in the mix.
One thing that I thought was really cool with the upcoming tour, and like you said, Ronnie, the goalpost kind of moves as to when that may potentially be able to take place, is you guys were, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you were going to take some of the proceeds in the cities that you went to and give it back to the service industry people in those towns, because they've been so affected. And obviously, being Vegas guys, we all appreciate the service industry. All of us have worked in the service industry on the morning show, and my understanding is that you guys were going to take some of the money that you made in each of those cities and give it back to the service industry because they've been hit so hard by COVID-19. Is that still the plan whenever the tour is able to take place?
Yeah, absolutely. We both, when we were in Vegas, worked, waiting tables or bussing tables. We worked in that industry, and so we know the reliance people have on tips, and when that goes away, it's like you've been fired. So I think we're just going to do whatever we can to help those people out, because we've been there.
When you think about Las Vegas, I mean, obviously this is a town that has a lot of different entertainment options. We think about Seattle, back in the early 90s and how they got the reputation as being the hotbed for alternative music. And you think about Las Vegas as it sits, right now over the past, 10, 12, 15 years. And you think about the biggest bands in alternative music, and it's the Killers, and it's Imagine Dragons, and it's Panic at the Disco. When you guys were on the way up in Las Vegas, did you ever expect that this would be the hotbed for alternative music, much like a city like Seattle was back in the early 90s?
No, we didn't since that, when we started, there was just no. The last band that had really broken was Slaughter before us, and I don't know if you know about Slaughter. I went to the same high school as Mark Slaughter, from Chaparral. I'm a Chaparral Cowboy, and so no, it wasn't. It was kind of a wasteland, and for bands to break from there, and so we couldn't have foreseen any, that we would even do what we did, and then the other bands would come from the town. No, it didn't seem like a place that would happen.
Yeah, really, really challenging. Just the local music scene out of Las Vegas, right? Because there is so much else going on. I think about when I was living in Columbia, South Carolina, and Hootie and the Blowfish came out of there, but it created this whole little hotbed. And going to see like the college bands, that was the thing to do, but people would discover new music. And in Las Vegas, that's never really been the thing, where you have all these local clubs that are supporting all these bands on the way up. So it's really kind of a really unique situation that Las Vegas has turned out some of the biggest and the best bands in the world. But when you think about what you guys have done, I mean, there's just a huge amount of success, obviously, that the Killers have had. When you think about the next 5 years, what do you guys hope for your band and your own careers?
5 years. I mean,
5 years.
Maybe a few. Maybe after this album, hopefully we get to release a couple more, and we just keep feeling like we're coming into our own on the stage. And so I'm really looking forward to touring, and especially right now when you feel like we're just not allowed to, and it's not safe to. So that's something that I think is really going to be a priority, and something that we're really going to look forward to when we're able to.
Well, guys, certainly appreciate you hopping on with us for a couple of minutes today. I know it's strange time out there for everyone, and getting to chat with you guys is always a pleasure, and hope nothing but the best for you guys and your families as we figure out this time. And can't wait to welcome you back to Las Vegas, whether it's the end of August or 2021 or whenever the heck we can start doing this stuff again. But stay safe and appreciate your time today.
Thank you, guys.
You too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.